Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, December the 6th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Not so much.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Not when you come right down to it. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Yeah, I don't. I figured I'd wear my. A few weeks ago on the Fun Show, I wore my Washington Badgers. Wisconsin Badgers. Thank you.
Washington Badgers.
Yeah, they moved.
That's a rare one.
That's the Beavers.
That's the Beavers, right? So we're my Penn State jersey, but I have a Penn State cap, and this is a Barkley jersey, and this Giants cap is the same color. So there you go. That explains my ensemble for the evening.
What does Penn State have to do with anything relative right now? Anything?
Not at all. It's just
a random choice. You didn't have Penn State, so you were a Penn State alum.
I have two college jerseys. A few weeks ago on the Fun Show, I wore my other college jersey. So I figured since we're still in the thick of the bowls and
so you have Wisconsin Badgers, and what's the second one?
Penn State.
Huh. That is a Penn State. Okay.
Penn State, yeah. Okay. It's actually a Barkley jersey. Penn State Barkley jersey.
I thought it was you had the Giants hat on, so I thought it was just a Giants jersey. Anyway,
gotcha. Yeah, it is.
We're off to
a shrieking start. All right. How is everybody? The first show in December. We have a few shows left in 2023, and then we're into 2024. It'll be actually the fifth year we've been doing the show. We did it in 2020, 21, 2022, 2023. The 2024 will be the fifth year that we've been doing shows. So
sounds like it's time to stop.
At some point, right? You would think, right? Just run out of things to say.
Retirement. We should do a retirement show.
You should think about that. Anyway, all right. Got a few of the funnies to kick it off. There's this one here I found very interesting. Punctuation is important. Would you say?
Mm. It used to be more important, but yes,
right.
It is, although depending on your definition of important, it's not.
Yeah, there you go. Well, this is a cover, a shot of a magazine with Rachel Ray on the cover. Here you go. It says "Eat, Ray, Love." It says Rachel Ray finds inspiration in cooking her family and her dog.
Yeah, well, I do too.
I'd like to cook her.
You would think they put a comma after cooking, but maybe she does find inspiration in cooking her family.
That dog looks petrified and is, to me, in his eyes, he's telling me help.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's about to become an appetizer.
He's going to be an appetizer, right. Absolutely.
What is it? What was their big claim to fame? 15-minute slop meals? 30-minute hacks or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it was that she got famous for, but...
Sammy's. She makes Sammy's.
Well, other than the cannibalism, apparently.
Other than the cannibalism, right?
And her cocaine.
Gotta cook your niece in 30 minutes or less.
Cocaine usage.
Yeah.
Finds inspiration in cooking her family and her dog.
Is she still on?
Yeah.
Who's the other one who's kind of the big hot thing now? She used to be a pop singer, and now she's
Kelly Clarkson.
Is that it? Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson has a show. Jennifer Hudson has a show.
Yeah.
Jennifer Hudson.
She was on American Idol, and then she was
Jennifer Hudson. That's right. Yeah, okay.
She's got it's whatever.
Well,
Drew Barrymore has a show too.
Drew Barrymore
has a show. Yeah. Yeah, she got in trouble during the strike because she was gonna.
Yeah, she was going to be.
She was going to start up again, and then
How about the old broads who bicker in the morning?
The View, no. Well, they're still on now, but after this season, they're done. They did not get a renewed contract. They will.
Oh, really? My friend Mike is a cameraman on that show.
It will be a thing. It will be a thing of the past.
Well, that sucks for Mike.
That sucks for Mike.
Good
Sorry,
for the
sorry for Mike.
good for the nation, bad for
Yeah.
Mike.
There you go. So
Who's
all
on
right.
the move anymore?
Whoopi,
Whoopi, Joy Behar.
Behar,
Oh yeah, Jay Behar's great.
a couple others, I think. All right. Number 2 slide. Here we go. We got home cooked food, evening grills, and children's beer garden.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
that sounds like something that would be out here in Denver. I mean, because let's face it, that's what breweries are, just beer gardens for your children.
Right.
this is how you have some peace and quiet. A couple of beers, and then they pass right out.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you can enjoy your home cooked food without sharing.
Right. Well, it depends unless Rachel Ray is cooking your home cooked food.
Or
then you
maybe,
might
yeah,
drink
maybe this is the prequel to Rachel Ray's cooking segment.
Children need some beers to calm them down.
You want to get those kids
realize
nice
they
and
just
drunk.
ate their dog.
like a marinade. That's what it is.
You want to get them nice and drunk before you throw them in the skillet.
There you go. All right.
Who is that you're imitating?
I don't know.
Rachel Ray.
Rachel Ray doesn't have a. Doesn't sound like a 75-year-old Jewish woman from Long Island.
Let's pretend she does. I like that better.
Unless you can do a better imitation, I don't think you have any cause to speak, sir.
I can. It's still going to be bad.
Ray.
I could do an Ernest Borgnine impersonation right now, and it'd be good.
Well, they're actually related, so.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, there we go. All right. To sticking with the same in the same vein. Number
Rachel
3
Ray.
is fried rice, not served with rice.
Oh, well, many other things are.
Yeah.
That's you Americans are stupid.
Why?
That's what that's there for.
Oh.
Because I guarantee somebody, because if you get a dish of whatever.
Yeah, where's my side of rice?
Yeah, it comes with a side of white rice. So guaranteed somebody's gonna order fried rice. And if you don't put that there, they're gonna bring it to your table, and then they go, "Does this come with rice?"
All right.
So they
Caesar salad does not come with salad.
I still like exactly. Caesar salad does not come with salad.
So they try and preempt that. Well, I looking at that menu with 5 or 6 different kinds of fried rice, I doubt Caesar salad is on that menu.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it would be on this menu, but you never know.
Yeah,
sausage fried rice. I've never heard of that one before.
What's the word in front of it though?
I don't know.
The sausage fried rice.
The sausage fried rice.
What is another ingredient that you might put in with the sausage that ends in E?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Potato sausage fried rice.
Potato doesn't end in
Quail.
E.
Well, no, Dan Quail it does.
Dan Quail sausage.
This is the Dan Quail rice dish.
How did you go to Dan Quail? Wow.
Because he spells potato with an E at the end. That's why. You don't remember that?
Yeah, I do, but I thought Pete was just thinking a word that ends in E. Dan Quail.
Dan Quail sausage fried rice.
If that's where his mind went, that's fucking great. If the misspelled potato link wasn't literally in there, no pun intended.
Dan Quail fried rice.
I think it's double sausage fried rice.
I was thinking too, maybe double sausage fried rice.
Because they have the double fried rice up above it. Yeah.
It could be table fried rice.
Table sausage fried rice.
Or triple fried rice.
Triple sausage fried rice. Quadruple sausage fried rice. We could go on and on and on.
Trouser sausage.
That's what it is. All right. Next on the list, here we go. Elegant Dump Diner. This is actually a billboard on the side of a building. Elegant Dump Diner.
Yeah, it's the name. It's the name.
Mm-hmm. Is that near the landfill?
I believe it is.
Elegant
Maybe
dump.
I think it actually is.
I would hope that's the meaning.
Better than elephant dump.
At
At least it's an elegant dump.
Elegant dump. Well, yeah. Well, that just means our food is so good. Afterwards, you'll be taking an elegant.
Isn't there a town called Elegant Dump, Delaware?
There might be. That's probably what it is.
There should be.
Well, I mean, this is right next to the Glory Hole Diner. So.
Yeah. Didn't Jolton Joe Biden go to the Elegant Dump? The grammar school. He walked uphill both ways. I think he did.
I think he did.
Actually, I think they changed the name of the town to like Fancy Poops.
Fancy Poops.
It used to be Elephant Dump.
Shit and stink. Pennsylvania.
Exactly. I'm sure it is.
Gilded Turd, Delaware.
Gilded Turd, Delaware.
Gilded Turd. Yeah, Oregon.
There you go. All right, next one. We have almost a farm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost a farm.
I mean,
not quite. It's almost a farm.
They're getting there.
You think it's Joe Almosta?
I don't know.
Or it's right down the block from the Elegant Dump. So
what I don't like is the spacing on the letters are all fucked up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to like. You could say that A looks a little bit separate,
right?
But that could just be because the T has a very
Look how far away the A is from the F.
Right, and look at the A and the L.
Well, it just looks like the A is always close to the letters after it, but it's never close to the letters that precede it.
Well, that's called the kerning of the letters. It looks like it doesn't do it justice in this particular instance.
I think that sign was made in Elegant
justified.
It's made in Elegant Dump, Delaware. Exactly.
This was justified in an early version of Word.
Right.
This isn't fancy enough.
The paperclip popped in and said, "You're good."
Yeah. Would you like to stretch this word out across the entire front of the sign?
Exactly. So, all right. Next one. Love this one. Thrills 10 count soap flavored gum. 87 cents.
I mean,
you know what? This could mean give a whole new meaning to, wash your mouth out.
It still tastes like soap. I mean, it literally is washing your mouth out with gum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it still tastes like soap.
Yeah, that's is that a bargain though? That's
10 count, 87 cents. So it's eight
nearly 9 cents for a piece of soap flavored gum. That seems like a lot.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. You can still get it at the dollar store, so they got that going for them.
I got that going for
them.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, how big is each piece too?
I don't know.
How big
is it? Like the size of a bar of soap, or is it just like
no, it says it's gum sized.
Sized.
It clearly says it's gum that tastes like soap.
It still tastes like soap.
Still.
And what kind of name is it? Thrills?
As if you were concerned that maybe
the soap flavor
formula,
the soap flavor faded away.
Like, no longer tasted like soap.
Yeah. Right. You leave it sit for a month, it won't taste like soap anymore.
Can
I
spit in my hands afterwards and wash them? Who knows?
Looks like that's French as well.
It's a fair question.
I wonder if this is like a Canadian store.
Toujours la need.
Toujours la need. It
still tastes like soap. VV.
All right. Moving on to the next one. We have Butt Milk Shop.
Well, if you're going to milk your ass, you may as well sell
it. The first question now that comes to my mind is, does it still taste like butt?
Does it still taste like butt?
Do you have
I'm not paying 87 cents a cup if it's the butt flavor.
But here's the thing: you got to do this together. So if you drink a glass of butt milk, you're definitely going to want a piece of soap gum afterwards.
Well, let me ask you a question: do you have to have an ass nipple to get butt
milk? You might. Yeah. You might.
What's more interesting is that there's a moped that seems to be in the middle of the stairwell.
Right.
Yeah.
There seems to be a guy looking at it.
The lady above the butt milk shop, she looks very curious about everything.
She's like,
there's also some feet right next to it.
Yeah, makeup and feet, and it looks like the butt milk shop has a
it says
nail
pure
salon
dairy.
over it.
Pure dairy, pure delight. So
there you go.
Half of that I'm sure is a lie.
The pure part or the dairy and the delight?
I'm not sure whether it's the dairy part or the delight part.
I'm guessing
put money down.
I'm guessing it's 100% delight.
It may very well be.
I think
it depends. It depends on whose butt they're milking. Let's say
2% delight at most.
Yeah, there's no low fat.
It's not. Yeah, it's not fat. It's nothing fat free about this milk.
No.
Yeah. All right. I'm curious as to where the buttermilk shop is.
We'll have to. Anybody out there from the buttermilk shop, send us some in. We'll have it on the show, and we'll let you know what we think.
If you want to be our first sponsor, please do. So 5 years, and we still don't have a sponsor.
Yeah, it's true. All right.
Well, we're waiting for the right offer.
We're waiting for the right offer.
Anybody wants to change that? Buttermilk Shop, Glory Hole, California.
Or
Almost a Farms.
Almost a Farm. We'll take you. There you go.
And soap flavored gum.
That's right.
I think Rachel Ray's going to come calling.
Rachel Ray, come on, baby. Let's do it.
Although she's going to bring catering. I don't know if we're going to want to eat it, though. So,
yeah.
Here we go. Good. I'm sure it is. Here we go. Next one. Try our cough syrup. You will never get any better.
Well,
they might have wanted to rethink that slogan before they actually put it there.
Really, just reverse the two lines, and I think you've got a winner.
Yeah.
You'll never get any better. Try our cough syrup.
There you go.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That would actually be good.
It doesn't matter, so you're never going to get better. You're going to die. Try our cough syrup.
And again, what's up with the spacing?
Yeah.
Look at the spacing between will and never versus never and get.
Yeah, that's why I think these things are doctored.
No, these are not actually. There's some
doctored ones. Read it. You will never get any better.
You will never get
if you
any better.
Try our, if you leave longer pauses for bigger spaces, try our cough syrup. You will never get any better.
Or maybe it's like Yoda. Try our cough syrup, you will never get
any better.
Any better?
I don't know. You guys just even if you do it as Christopher Walken, it doesn't help.
Wow. All right.
Wow. Try our cough syrup. You will never get any better. Ladies and gentlemen, the Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. All right. All right. There we go. Next one. This is I don't know if I'd order this one. This is at a Chinese takeout place. I'm not sure if I'd order this dish. Here we go. Genital sows chicken, and it's spicy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a modern take on a classic.
Genital.
Genital sows.
Listen, maybe general was just a misspelling all these years.
Well, that could be an R.
I don't know. It looks more like a T to me.
I don't think it could be an R. Well,
genital chicken.
At least it's spicy.
It's spicy genital chicken. Yes,
gotta be because
spicy. All right.
If it's too spicy, you wash it down with some buttermilk.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll cure the spicy flavor a little bit. All right. And our last one of the evening. Here we go. Would you get this? Would you go for this? Would you book an appointment for this? Here we go. Hot and juicy crawfish massage.
Absolutely. And some ramen.
Exactly. You get ramen while you're there. Hot and juicy crawfish massage.
Yeah, absolutely. If that girl on the right is giving it, then yeah.
Let's break this down. Do they massage you with crawfish?
Or do
you go in and massage the crawfish?
Or do the crawfish massage you? Right.
A lot of different options here.
I think almost anything's on the menu.
This is true. I think it's up to you, really, what you want.
I would say 1 or 3. I would do.
I'll tell you what.
I would not massage a crawfish, but
I bet the crawfish are dressed scantily.
Are they live? You think they're live crawfish?
Well, yeah. So if they're gonna massage me, they better.
If they're gonna be massaging me, they better be live.
Okay.
So, do you want a happy ending with a crawfish massage? Probably not.
Depends on how hot and juicy it is.
Did you turn over now, please? I don't think so. I don't know.
I mean, it depends on the day.
Gotta love it. All right. Those are our funny photos for the week. All right. That brings us to Or just a quickie, our NFL just a quickie. Here we go. We still got to do that theme, that just a quickie theme. So we got to start.
Just a quickie. It's never fast. It's not as quick as you think. Just a quickie.
There you go. All right. There you go. We'll take that off, and that'll be the sounder. That'll be the drop. Here we go. All right. Pick one in their prime. We actually need to change this. We said that. We got to change this to pick one in their prime.
Pick one in their prime.
Slowly.
Take your time and pick one in their prime.
That's perfect. Take your time.
Brought to you by the hot and juicy crawfish massage.
There you go. Have a bowl of ramen while you wait. All right, here we go. Pick one in their prime. Mike Singletary?
Yes.
Or I'll take him, thank you. Or Jack Lambert. Mike Singletary or Jack Lambert. Pick one in their prime. Let's start with Harry this time.
I think Singletary was probably a slightly better overall player, but I'll take either of them. I'm going to go with Jack Lambert just because he was Jack Lambert.
Just because he was Jack Lambert.
Yeah.
I got you.
Doesn't mean he was better, but he's Jack Lambert.
It's true. Peter.
I'll take Samurai Mike. He's a better rapper.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Jack Lambert had no teeth. So.
Yeah. The words didn't come out as eloquently.
The dealer.
There you go. And I do agree with Pete's point. Mike was a better rapper, but I'm going to go with, you got to love that photo. Got to go with Jack Lambert.
Yeah.
There you go. So, all right.
Neither one is a bad choice.
No, you can't go wrong. And pretty much any of these, pick one in their prime. No matter what you pick, you're good. But all right. Now we're going to go to
pick one in their prime. Crawfish massage or butt milk?
Butt milk or crawfish massage? Both. There you go.
Crawfish massage sounds like a really bad jam band.
Crawfish massage. Hot and juicy crawfish massage.
It sounds like a band that your friend just put together to try and impress some girl at a garage party. Yeah, we're crawfish massage.
I would like to hear the demo version of crawfish massage.
No, you don't.
From Log.
No, you don't.
Yeah, please write it.
No.
It'll be the new theme song. All right, here we go. Four gotta stay. Time for four gotta stay.
Four's gotta stay. Four gotta stay. It's the Mount Rushmore of John's question.
Exactly. Four gotta stay. You know how this is. Four gotta stay. I'll give you six. Four gotta stay. Two gotta go. This week it's top defensive ends of all time. Top defensive ends of all time.
Not middles.
Not middles.
Not beginnings.
And top defensive ends of all time. Here we go.
You mean edge rushers?
No ends. Defensive lineman ends.
Oh, okay.
You want to call that an edge rusher because the definition is really skewed these days.
Well, I'm trying to reach a younger
demographic
here.
For the younger demographic, we're talking about edge
know what a
rushers.
defensive end.
Defensive ends or gender neutral edge rushers.
Pretty much. All right, four gonna stay. Give you six. Four gonna stay. Two gotta go. Write these down. Here we go. Jack Youngblood.
Oh, JL. JY.
Jack Youngblood.
Triumvirate of Jacks, right?
Yeah.
Ham, Lambert, Youngblood.
There you go. Jack Youngblood. L.C. Greenwood.
Whose real name was actually Jack.
Exactly. He spelled it with an L.
And Ham.
He spelled it with an
His
M.
name was Jack Ham Greenwood.
His mother's name was Elsie, so that's why I went with those initials. Reggie White.
Fuck him.
Harry doing his Pete impersonation.
John is finding new ways to make sure we have at least one in common.
There we go.
We'll put Reggie White in there.
There you go. Howie Long.
Same haircut.
Boy.
He wears Skechers now.
There you go. Bruce Smith.
We just talked about that.
He wears Skechers now.
He used to be a top defensive end. Now he wears Skechers.
He used to wear rusted rounds. Now
he was the epitome of the tough guy masculinity. Flat top.
Now he's wearing
Hey, look,
khakis and Skechers.
slip-on his sneakers.
Pussy.
Here we go. And the number 6, anybody of the younger demographic watching, he can at least relate to one of them, JJ Watt. JJ Watt.
Screw him.
Really, there's a lot of
I don't like any of these guys.
Watson on this list to be jettisoned.
Jack Youngblood, L.C. Greenwood, Reggie White, Howie Long, Bruce Smith, J.J. Watt. We'll start with
Buttermilk Greenwood was the best.
Buttermilk Greenwood. We'll start with RadioPete. RadioPete. Let's have at it. Really?
Trying not to let my current biases affect my decisions.
Well, none of these people are current except J.J. Watt.
Well, no, but I mean,
he's barely current.
No, but like Howie
he's
Long
retired too. So.
Howie Long is boring, announcer and all that stuff. So
you're what they're currently doing, right?
I think
he was a Raider, so
I think that now that you know he wears Skechers, that changed your opinion.
I kind of did know that, but
yeah.
That's just the evolution of human beings.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, gee, what team did Bruce Smith play for?
The Bills.
Yeah, bye.
And 200 sacks. He sucked. Get rid of him.
Yeah. Well, was it 201? It was not.
Not.
It was not.
Couldn't have got that one other one, Bruce. Come on.
And who did Youngblood play for?
The Rams.
Yeah, Rams. Yeah. Don't love them. Don't.
Back when they were in St. Louis.
I'll get rid of Watt.
No, they were in LA.
No, that's right. They were in LA.
J.J. Watt. He's not even as good as his brother. TJ's better.
All right. So who are you getting rid of?
Watt.
And
Bruce Smith and J.J. Watt.
All right. So you're going with
have a seat, boys.
Jack Youngblood.
So not only are you taking those two off this list, but two of the best defensive ends of all time.
Well, yeah.
So you go with Jack Youngblood, L.C. Greenwood, Reggie White, and Howie Long. You're going with. All right. Harry, you?
Well, the only way to logically do this is to take off L.C. Greenwood and Howie Long, because Bruce Smith, Reggie White, Jack Youngblood, and J.J. Watt, I mean, this whole list, I think, is Hall of Famers. Well, maybe did L.C. Greenwood make it into the Hall of Fame?
I believe he did.
I'm not sure. Anyway, I think that, they're all great players, but I think Long and Greenwood are a little bit of a notch below those other guys, career-wise.
Gotcha. Fair enough. L.C. Greenwood.
Well, sure. If you want to base it on how good they are, then I mean that's one way to do it, I guess.
That is one way to do it. That is true.
Weirdo. I mean, who does things that way?
For sure.
L.C. Greenwood is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm not sure Howie Long is either.
How long is
he?
Pretty sure. Yeah. Well,
he's in the Skechers Hall of Fame. That's
well, without a doubt. It's the only person in the Skechers Hall of Fame.
Let's see, hold on here.
I think Trey Aikman's a Skechers guy too.
I think Romo's a Skechers
Romo,
guy.
that's what it is. Romo.
Yeah.
Romo's a Skechers guy.
Well, he never won a Skechers playoff game, so
no,
he never did.
How long? I was right. Howie Long.
He shuffled right out of the playoffs.
Everybody else is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. All right, cool. Fair enough. All right, that was our Four Gotta Stay segment. All right, moving on to
Four Gotta Stay.
All right. Next is the NFL question of the week. Question of the week. And inquiring minds want to know, this goes back a week or so, but I have to ask your opinion. Do either of you find anything right with the fact that Frank Reich got fired after 12 weeks?
Who's Frank Reich? The third Reich? What?
Skechers Hall of Fame quarterback.
Skechers Hall of Fame quarterback. Yeah. Frank Reich was actually the ball. He was the ball holder for Scott Norwood.
Yeah, I know exactly who he is.
It's his fault. Wide right.
No, I mean, it seems like an odd timing, and also just like, what were your expectations, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Exactly. I think it's horrible, but Pete.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I think he's going to find another job pretty soon. Though.
I think he'll be hired before the end of the season as fill-in offensive coordinator for one of the multitude that got fired so far.
I don't know if he gets another head coaching job though.
Why not?
Because he was with Indy, right? I think.
Yeah,
before this.
Indy. Yep.
He did not have success there.
Nope.
Despite having,
didn't he have success? Was he the head coach of Buffalo?
He had success
No.
with Browning, not what's his name? Not Browning.
Browning Nagel.
Browning Nagel, not Browning Nagel. The guy from Philly who sucks now.
With
Nick Foles.
No, you're talking about
Wentz.
Carson Wentz. Yeah.
He had success with Carson Wentz.
Well, he was on Doug Peterson's staff when they won the Super Bowl. When the Philly won the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Right. But then he went to Indy, and he had a couple of quarterbacks there that he did not have success with.
Mm-hmm.
He was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, right? Yeah. Before they got good.
Yeah.
No, they were good. They won a Super Bowl.
No, they won a Super Bowl.
With Nick Foles. Right?
With Nick Foles.
But he's supposed to be a quarterback whisperer, and he's like, okay, 1 for 4 now in that capacity.
Well, you gave him 12 games of
yeah. Now this is not fair,
right?
Because
it's only wave a magic wand and make him,
But that's I think last week I called David Tepper the worst owner in the NFL, and so he's I mean Tepper hasn't made a good decision in his life regarding this football team.
Yeah. The best decision he can make would be to sell the team. But.
Yeah, or just look, this goes for all owners. Hire somebody and then get the fuck out of the way, and give them some time to succeed or fail. But he's one of those guys. He's a Jerry Jones, only without any success whatsoever.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I mean, I think he was the owner when they went to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
Cam,
he was.
But they didn't win, so
no.
So but no, this is a terrible firing. It's idiocy, and I think Frank Reich will get another job, but I don't know if anyone's going to hire him as a head coach anymore.
I mean, don't you think? How many years was he coached with Indianapolis when Andrew Luck was actually playing? Was it just 1 year?
One, yeah, and I don't think he played that. He retired retired during that year.
Yeah, and he was fired mid-season before, right? Wasn't he fired?
Yeah. This is the second time he's been fired mid-season.
Mid-season, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's had a couple decent. I mean, he had a couple decent seasons with Indy. If my memory doesn't serve me,
there was a couple that weren't bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple that weren't
bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's the worst coach in the NFL.
No, I don't either.
No, I mean, I think he probably should get another chance, but I don't know if anyone's gonna,
We'll see.
We will. All right.
It's hard to tell whether what's gonna happen. We're just gonna keep recycling the same old coaches over and over. That goes on, or we get the exact opposite where now we're gonna bring somebody in new.
Right.
So he might be sort of that in between, right? He hasn't been around long enough to be the old guard, and there might be teams that are looking, going, he's had his chance.
Right, and he's not as shots. He's not as annoying as Rex Ryan. So
yeah, exactly.
All right. That brings us to the NFL History Rapid Fire Quiz.
The Rapid Fire
NFL History Rapid Fire Quiz. So let's get that cranking here. Let's get the music up and running. And there we go. All right, there we go. All right. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I should say, Harry won 4-1. It's 3 in a row for Harry. Last time Pete won was 4 quizzes ago. So about a while ago, 8-9 weeks ago.
Lifetime.
It was a while ago. All right. Tonight's are all based on records. Tonight's are all based on records, and I don't mean like
LPs.
LPs, yeah, vinyl, yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Super Bowl Shuffle.
Who sung the Super Bowl Shuffle? There you go. All right. They're all based on records. Pete, are you ready for your question number one?
I am ready for my question number one.
All right, here we go. Question number one. What player has the most consecutive starts?
In the history of the NFL?
Yep.
It's Cal Ripken, isn't it?
I was going to say Lenny Wilkens.
It'd be Big O, Oscar Robertson.
Most consecutive starts.
Most consecutive starts in NFL history. What player has most consecutive starts?
Huh.
What do you think?
Does this include special teams?
It includes everything. What player has the most consecutive starts? So the record set the record for most consecutive starts in NFL history.
How about all right? How about Adam Vinatieri?
Adam Vinatieri is wrong.
Wrong.
That would be incorrect. Yes. Harry for the steal.
I don't know if this is still true, but I want to say at one point Brett Favre had this record, and that's the only person I can think of that I ever remember his name being tied to this. Probably somebody's passed it, but I'm gonna take a stab at Brett Favre.
All right. Well, the record is 297 consecutive starts, and that would be held by one Mr. Brett Favre.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
These are the weird things I remember in life.
There you go. Weird things he remembers in.
Wonder who else. Somebody's got to be close to that by now, though. Well, maybe not.
No.
Yeah, because nobody starts anymore. They all get hurt.
Exactly.
What was Eli Manning's consecutive starts?
Eli Manning got up to 200 and I want to say 240 something.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought.
But then Ben McAdooshbag.
Yeah.
Ben McAdoosh nozzle came in and had to start Geno Smith because see what he needed, and then 2 days later he got fired. So that was a good career move for Ben, good old Ben there. So anyway, all right. Let's move on to question number two. Pete, ready for question number two?
Ready.
Here we go. What player holds the single game receiving yards record? What player holds the single game receiving yards record?
I don't know.
What player holds the single game receiving yards record? Figure I say it another couple times.
Yeah, just keep saying it until I have a chance to. It's not Lenny Wilkens, is it?
It's not. It's not Cal Ripken either.
I'll say. I don't know. Randy Moss.
Randy Moss is a good guess, but it's wrong. Harry.
I'm tossing around two names that are. I want to say it's either Calvin Johnson or. Flipper Anderson or somebody like that. I think it's Calvin Johnson. I'm going to go with Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson. Caught for 329 yards in a game. 329 yards in a game. And that's the second most ever.
Fuck.
He was 7 yards off of the 336 that Willie Flipper Anderson against the Saints on November 26, 1989.
Half a point?
336. Yeah. So close.
By the way, I just want to note that Jeff Fiegels of the Eagles played in 352 consecutive games.
Jeff Fiegels of the Eagles
didn't start.
Played in.
Yeah, that special teams, I guess, are not.
I guess that doesn't. I guess special teams don't count. Then I guess. Yeah.
I feel like you kind of misled me there, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. In the final
Did you say Jeff Fiegels? If you said Jeff Fiegels, I'd have given you the point.
Well, no. If you'd said special teams don't get counted as starts, then I wouldn't have picked a kicker.
You did pick
my
a kicker.
point.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right, so let's go back and do it again. Special teams don't count. What player has the most consecutive?
I still get the point.
I'll say Lenny Wilkins.
He's a special teams player.
There you go. All right, here we go. Question number 3, Pete. Here we go. What player holds the single season touchdown record?
Scored or passing?
I'm sorry. Scored. Yes, scored. What player holds a single season touchdown scored record? Touchdowns scored record. Sorry. What player holds a single season touchdowns scored record?
Terrell Owens.
Ooh, that was a good guess, but that would be wrong as well. Harry?
I want to say it was LaDainian. Tomlinson. LT, the Chargers running back.
LaDainian Smith.
LaDainian Hamburger.
You know who I'm talking about.
LaDainian Butmilk. LaDainian Greenwood.
Tomlinson.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yes. That's what's coming to my mind. So I'm gonna go with that.
All right. With 31 touchdowns scored in the year 2006, LaDainian Tomlinson. There you go.
Who's come closest? I want to say Alvin Kamara or somebody maybe came close to that. I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look. All right, Harry, you ready for your questions now?
Sure.
All right. Question number 1. What player played the most seasons in the NFL?
Most seasons played. Okay.
What player has played in the most seasons?
This might be a kicker. I don't know. I'm thinking of. Is it? Man, could it be? I don't know. I'm gonna say. I want to say Morton Anderson.
That's a good guess. And that would be wrong.
Okay.
Radio Pete for the steal.
What was the question?
What player has played in the most seasons in the NFL, in NFL history?
How about George Blanda?
George Blanda would be correct. 26 seasons he played in.
What was Morton Anderson?
1949 to 1975, George Blanda played. Morton Anderson played Morton Anderson.
Now I know what it was. Morton Anderson played in more games. He has the most games played, I think.
Mm-hmm. Morton Anderson played from 82 to 07.
So it's 25.
26 seasons. 25 seasons. 25 seasons. Yeah, it's 25 seasons. Yeah. It's 25.
But
So it's one. It's one.
He played in more games.
Well, because there was 2 games more each year, so he probably did play in more games. So,
all right.
By the way, the touchdown list.
Mm-hmm.
LaDainian, single season 31. Number 2, Sean Alexander with 28.
Sean Alexander.
2005.
Good running
Number 3, Priest Holmes, 27 in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy whose name I couldn't remember, not that it was the right answer, 2000, Marshall Faulk with 26.
Marshall Faulk. There you go.
And then Emmitt Smith, and then Priest Holmes again with 24. So
nice.
Yeah,
So it's not
those few years for Priest Holmes. What did he play, like 5 years, maybe?
He was the entire offense for the Chiefs.
He was.
And Terrell Davis had 23.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Harry, question number 2. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What team holds the record for most consecutive losses?
Most consecutive.
Most consecutive losses. What team holds the record for most consecutive losses?
Wow. So that it doesn't need to be in one season. It can be.
Yeah. It can be over the course of however many. Yeah. Most consecutive losses. You know, if you lose the last game of the season and the first game of the next season, you've lost 2 games in a row.
I feel like this is a tough one because I feel like it's like a team that's no longer. I feel like it's one of the old school teams. I want to say it's like the Cardinals, but they were not. They were like. They were another Midwestern team. Were there 2 Chicago teams at one point? I want to say it's like 20-something games. And it was like the something Cardinals. Pick a Midwestern city of your choice.
You can just say the name of the team. That's fine.
Cardinals. I'm going to say the Cardinals.
All right.
Played in how many different cities?
Their location is irrelevant. The Cardinals have played in 3 different cities.
Yeah.
And that is not the correct answer.
Okay.
And the Cardinals did play in Chicago. Yeah. There you go. They were the Chicago Cardinals. Then they moved to St. Louis and then went out to Arizona. All right. Radio Pete for the steal.
Well, I'm going to have to guess a more modern team because I agree with Harry, but I don't know any of the old teams' names. So, and I don't think it was Lenny Wilkens. How about the Buccaneers? They were historically bad. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were terrible when they started.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers is correct. That's correct.
Ooh.
They lost 26 games in a row.
I want to look this up. Hold on. Let me pull up.
26 games in a row from 1976 to 1977. Over the course of those 2 seasons, they lost 26 games in a row.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. The longest losing streak in NFL history belongs to a Chicago team, but not the one you're thinking of. From 1942 to 1945, the Chicago Cardinals lost 29 consecutive games over 4 seasons. The franchise would eventually end its losing streak against the crosstown rival Chicago Bears.
I have to look it up now, too.
List of National Football League longest losing streaks on Wikipedia, which we know is never wrong. The longest losing streak, the Chicago Cardinals have the longest Regular season losing streak, losing 29 consecutive games. The Tampa Bay Bucks have the longest losing streak since the AFL-NFL merger, losing their first 26 games in franchise history.
Let's see. According to SB Nation, it's the Cardinals, 29. We'll get a consensus here, just because you can't trust Wiki.
I'm just going back and I'm going back.
Well, the first one wasn't Wikipedia; it was the NFL. NFL page.
I can't get back past the friggin' post. More on that in a minute.
Get past it.
I'll tell you about it in a minute. I don't want to spoil it now.
You don't want to log out of your OnlyFans page?
No. More on that in a minute. All right. I'm going to make an executive decision because I always double check these with two sites, but I can't get back to what I double check them on.
I'm telling you right now, I'm reading it.
Hold on. I'm not doubting you. All right. And Pete confirmed it too. So I'm going to make an executive decision and you both get a point. Because it was
That sounds like bullshit.
I didn't. He said what I had.
Well, now Champs or Chumps says it's the Bucks.
There you go. See what I'm saying? So
SB Nation, it's on S.
Yeah,
I believe you. So I don't know whether what I looked at and double checked with another site, random site, and that second random site actually gave me the same answer, because I always do that. Because there was a couple when we first started doing this, there was a couple that were questionable and oh shit, that was the wrong answer, But so I always double check it. And the second site I went to said the same thing, said the Bucks, and Pete just pulled up a Bucks thing. So I'm gonna give one each. I'm gonna put a B there.
Here's NBC Sports. Here are the 5 longest losing streaks in NFL history. The Chicago Cardinals, 29 games. Tampa Bay Bucks, 26 games. Jacksonville Jaguars, 20 games. And Oakland Raiders, 19 games.
There you go.
I wonder. Yeah, because
unless the two sites I happen to look at, just however they have it.
Sportskeeda lists the Bucks.
I can't tell you why, but I'm going to give both. I'm awarding both points. So there you go. Harry, you got another question? You ready? What team holds the record for most consecutive road wins?
That's interesting.
Most consecutive road wins.
I mean, this is just ridiculous. I don't. This could also be some most consecutive
road wins.
It's got to be a good team. And I'm guessing it's going to be more of a current team, meaning not the Chicago Cardinals.
Or the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets.
And I'm going to go... So in modern day, it's probably going to be between the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s, the Patriots more currently are the 49ers in the 80s, late 80s into the 90s. I'm going to say the 49ers.
You're going with the 49ers?
Yeah.
All right, from 1988 to 1990, 18 consecutive road wins were won by the San Francisco 49ers.
That was a complete lucky guess, but okay.
Because you completely reasoned it out.
Yes.
And you had a 33.3% chance of being right. So
there you go. So Harry wins 4-2. Harry wins 4-2. There you go.
A disputed 2.
Chicago.
Well, it doesn't matter because even if we give you the point and don't give Harry a point on that one, he still wins 3-2.
Still wins.
So, all right. And weird fact to end this up with the weird fact, as we always do. We find this interesting. There we go. The Detroit Lions, okay, last won a championship in 1957. 1957. They've won 3, but they last won in 1957. They've had 2 separate 30-year plus stretches of 30 years plus without a playoff win. Okay. They won in 57. There we go. Shut that off. They won in 57. They won, and they didn't win a playoff game. They've been in the playoffs, but they were one and done. So they won a playoff game again next time in 91. So they went 34 years before they won. 91.
Can't even picture that team. That was before Megatron?
It was before Megatron, yeah.
Was it Billy Sims?
I believe
End
so.
Of Billy Sims' career,
and it's the second year, third year of Barry Sanders.
That's what I meant, Barry Sanders.
Yeah, but in any event, 34 years. They won. They went to the NFC Championship game that year. Washington beat them and went to the Super Bowl. But yeah, 34 years they went, and then they haven't won since a playoff game. That's been 32 years. So yeah,
that's hard to believe.
They've won, and I think they only won one because they were the divisional winner in 91. So they only won the divisional round. So they won one playoff game and then they lost in the championship game. But yeah, they've won one playoff game in the last 66 years. So that's a lot. So anyway, all right. That will do it for that.
Billy Sims is before Barry Sanders, right?
Yeah.
And Detroit's had some good running backs.
They have. That is for sure.
They all don't play very long, though.
Yeah, they don't. All right. That brings us to this week's top 5 list. Top 5 this week is top 5 NFL players from the 1970s. Top 5 NFL players from the 1970s. I'm going to list them all, go through them. We all 3 of us have 3 different lists. There's some mixes and matches here throughout them, so I'll just read them all. Pete's list, number 5, Dave Casper. Number 4, Mean Joe Green. Number 3, Sweetness, Walter Payton. Number 2, Roger Staubach. And number 1, OJ, Mr. Juice Simpson. Harry's list, number 5, Ray Guy. Number 4, Swanee, Lynn Swan. Number 3, Dave Casper. Number 2, OJ. And number 1, OJ Simpson, that is, not Anderson. And number 1, Jack Ham. And then my list, number 5, I have Alan Page. Number 4, I have Jack Ham. Number 3, Walter Payton. Number 2, Roger Staubach. And number 1, Mean Joe Green. All right. Discussion. What do you think of these players?
Those are some pretty good players.
I think so.
Here's what I love about the 70s is that you could if you really want to make an argument, what other decade would you have a list where there's as many defensive players as there are offensive players and very few quarterbacks? Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. When I think of the 70s, I think of 3 quarterbacks, I think of Roger Staubach, Terry Bradshaw, and the Snake, Kenny for the Raiders. Why am I drawing a blank? Kenny Stabler. Yeah. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake the Snake Roberts. There you go. Yeah. No, you're right. There was there were a few other good quarterbacks, but those were the top 3 by far. Definitely.
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you can't leave Joe Pisarcik off that list. No, I'm kidding.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Or Joe Theismann.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, and I mean, that's in a decade that saw Joe Namath play the most of his career in, and he's not on that list. So did well in '69 for the Jets, but no, you're absolutely right. The amount of offensive players and defensive players is pretty well even for the better players in the '70s, and a lot of Hall of Famers. A lot of Hall of Famers came out of the '70s. I mean, just how many on the Steelers alone, right? So, Pete, anything to say about those? I think he's talking, but we can't hear him.
You could put on those lists too. There's just a lot of great players from that era. But yeah, the fact that we all had some defensive guys on there, and a different era, different brand of football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, think about how many great defensive linemen. You know, I mean, you think about, you know, we talked earlier about L.C. Greenwood and Mean Joe Green, and I mean, you still had the Vikings teams with Alan Page, and I mean, it's just a lot of really, really great defensive players.
Purple People Eaters.
They were Rosie Greer, and so it was interesting. No wonder there weren't too many quarterbacks. They were getting beaten to death.
Exactly. So, all right. There's a lot of good players. And speaking of defensive line, I think that brings us to this week's Old Balls. Harry, tell us who this week's Old Balls is.
This week's Old Balls is none other than, you got it, a defensive lineman, Jack Youngblood, who, you know, my top five were basically the top five vote getters for the 1970s All-Decade team. And right up there, right after the top five, was number 6 was Jack Youngblood. And he was played for the Los Angeles Rams his entire career, 1971 to 84, 5-time unanimous first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, so 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time sacks leader. He was, of course, a starter on the NFL 1970s All-Decade team, and his number 85 is retired by the Los Angeles Rams, and he is in the Pro Football and College Football Hall of Fame. And, you know, he was kind of an interesting player in that he played in 202 games, and he only had 24 sacks, which by today's standards, you know, 10 fumble recoveries and 2 safeties. But he was just one of those guys, when you watched him play, he dominated the game. He was one of those disruptors. And when I think of the 70s, I think of Jack Youngblood, among, like we said, many other incredible defensive linemen. But he's right up there, and I don't know. I think he's one of the best to ever play the game, and a little forgotten, maybe in this day and age from the 80s, 90s, and into today. You know, the defensive linemen, I think, were made of a slightly different ilk, but he's one of the old school guys. Was, I think, in the Rams front office for a very long time. And
he couldn't find a door to get out. Or...
Yeah. He's still around. He's only 73 years old. It's hard to imagine that, but he also opened he served on the traumatic brain injury committee, and in 2014 he opened the Jack Youngblood Center for Neuroenhancement in Orlando, Florida, which deals with the treatment and of the symptoms of traumatic brain injury. And we all know what that's become a pretty big issue, I think, here in the NFL. And I commend him for doing that. So kind of one of those guys who I think has always been a little under the radar and a little not necessarily in the spotlight, but one of the best to ever play the game. Jack Youngblood.
This week's Old Balls. All right. And there you have it. All right. We were toying around the idea of a different list tonight, and it would it would not behoove us to. It would not behoove us to, or it would behoove us. It would not be. It would behoove us to do it. There we go.
Yeah. Well, we said we were going to do it, so we're going to do it.
So we're going to do it. So there we go. So he said top 5 Dougs of all time. Top 5 Dougs.
I mean, it's hard to pick 5 Dougs. Now, I want to say, at least for my list, I did not pick Douglases. Okay, I just picked Dougs.
Pick any Dougies?
No
Dougies. Just Dougs.
Just Dougs.
Of course, they're all the same, but we know it.
I would accept Dougies, but I don't want to accept Douglas MacArthur. Or Douglas Fairbanks. That's a different type of person than a Doug.
A Douglas is definitely somebody who goes by Douglas.
That's right.
Right. He's known by Douglas. If you say Doug, like you're not going to say Doug Fairbanks.
Right.
You're going to say Doug MacArthur. Right.
That's
You're
right.
going to say Douglas. Right. So I get what you're saying. So
right.
So why don't you give us your list?
I don't remember what I wrote.
I'll give you your list. How's that?
Okay.
All right. There you go. Well, first of all, somebody actually.
You don't have a graphic for it, huh?
I don't have a graphic for it.
Okay.
I don't. Somebody actually. I mean, I could put them up, but we could just.
I could find mine, right?
There you go. Which we got. Somebody I actually have a connection to. I never met him, but I do have a connection to him. Doug Stanhope, comedian.
Well, that's don't blow my list.
I was.
All right.
No,
so
you said you're going to find it. All right.
Yeah, I got it right now. My honorable mention, Doug Wimbish, is Doug Wimbish, the bass player for Living Colour, who took over from Buzz Skillings. My number 5 is the bassist from the band King's X, who I recently saw this past year, Doug Pinnick, who's a phenomenal musician. If you don't know who he is, go look him up.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4 is Doug Collins, NBA player and coach. My number 3 is Doug Henning, the magician.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is Doug Flutie, the petite quarterback of college football and NFL football
Petite
fame. And my number 1 is the family-friendly comedy stylings of none other than Doug Stanhope. That's my top 5 Dougs.
There you go.
That's a nice list.
All right. That is Pete. Your Dougs.
All right, my list does have a couple of Douglases on it.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would say probably one of the 2 was never called Doug. I would just think.
Good reason to have him on the list.
And one was probably called Doug, although professionally he's known as Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, number 5 is Doug Bradley. Is an actor better known as Pinhead.
Oh, there you go.
The original Pinhead. Number 2, or number 4, I should say, is Doug Feiger. From the Knack. Rhythm guitarist, the vocalist of the Knack.
There you go. Very good.
Number 3 is the Douglas that I think was probably called Doug by his friends Douglas Adams.
The president?
Oh. No, the writer of The Hitchhiker's Guide
to the Universe. That's right. Douglas Adams.
Right. Number 2 is the Douglas who is probably never called Doug, and that's Douglas MacArthur, the general. General Douglas MacArthur. And number 1 is the greatest Doug of all, beatboxer and rapper Dougie Fresh. And I have an honorable mention is Doug Castellana, who is a schoolmate of mine from back in the day.
There you go. There you go.
We had a schoolmate, but he doesn't deserve to be on.
All right. Anyway, on that note, I'll give you my honorable mention first, and you will see where I'm going with this. A few weeks back, we did our 3rd anniversary show from Wild Air Brewing in Asbury Park live. We did it from there.
Remember that? That was fun.
That was fun. The brewer, the brewmaster there, made all the beer that we had that night. Was there early on and came back later on. Doug Phillips. All right, that's my honorable mention. And his nickname happens to be Dougie Fresh too. But as are many Dougs. He's my honorable mention. All right, I'll just roll through mine really quick. I have 3 from that are same as Harry's, and one's the same as Pete's. I have Douglas MacArthur on mine. I have Doug Henning on mine. I have Doug Flutie on mine. I have Doug Stanhope on mine. In that order. All right. But my number one, and Pete, one that you forgot, Doug Sisk. Well, he played for the Mets, and he was a Doug. So there you go. Played 6 seasons for the Mets. Relief pitcher. World Series champion in '86.
I did forget him, so that's why he didn't make the list. He was not memorable enough.
He was not memorable enough. There you go. There you go. So those are our top Dougs of all time. But of course, Doug Flutie, right? You can't not have how many times? I think the anniversary was just like a week or so ago of the Hail Mary that he threw at Boston College. In that game in '82.
He's maybe the most annoying Doug of all.
Yeah. Saw him play for the Generals back in the day.
God. Binoculars, huh?
No, we had seats lower.
You could see the ground.
You can actually see them. We
look up at them.
We were 14 rows off the field. So, for those, I don't think they sold any upper deck tickets for the Generals.
No, it just meant that you can't see him on the field unless you're up high.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, that's true. That is true. He was very, so many walked off and walked on, but when they were in a huddle, he disappeared. Doug Stanhope, great comedian. Doug Henning, I mean, come on, right? So, a lot of good Dougs on this list. So this would be a we should do top 5 Peters.
No.
Does Radio Pete make the list?
Of course, he's going to be number 1 with a bullet.
There you go. Well, we'll do it again. We're gonna do a few others like this coming up soon, and we'll have graphics for them too. So not that it really matters for the audio podcast, So, but in any event, there you go. All right, Pete, do you have a box over under?
I do have an over under.
All right, Pete's box over under
didn't come
Pete's over under.
It's one or the other.
Take your pick. It's over under.
Didn't come from the shelves, but since it is college football season and we're heading into the madness that is the bowl season, I kind of looked at all the bowls and sort of tallied up some of the states who have a lot of bowls versus the little bowls. California has a handful. Florida has a bunch, of course. Tennessee has a few. Alabama has a few, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But the one state that has the most bowls is, in fact...
We're still talking about college football bowls, correct?
College football bowls. Football bowls. Is the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is the over-under for the number of college football bowl games that take place this year in the state of Florida. And the over-under is 6.5.
6.5.
John, I will let you go first.
You're going to let me go first. You're going to let me do it first.
Let you go first. Because that way Harry will have the decision of simply going the opposite or perhaps agreeing.
What's the over-under again?
6.5. Number of college bowl games this year played in the state of Florida.
Played in the state of Florida.
I want to hear the names of these.
Well, that's.
I'm sure there's some good ones.
We got a special bit about that one.
Okay, I thought so.
I'm going to go over.
John's going to go over 6.5 number of bowl games this season played in the state of Florida. Harry, you agree? Or you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go over. I mean, Florida is kind of the land of college football. I'm guessing there's 8 to 10 bowl games in Florida. So I'm going to go over.
Well, you're both correct. The number is 8 total bowl games in the state of Florida. Texas comes in second with 7.
Wow.
But in the state of Florida, we have the obvious ones that everyone knows. The Orange Bowl, of course.
Right.
We have the Citrus Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Gator Bowl. Then we have some interesting ones. Let me dial these up so I can tell you where they're being played. We have the Cure Bowl.
Cure?
Cure. C-U-R-E.
It's the only goth football bowl game.
That's being played in Orlando.
Of course, it's being played on a Friday, too.
Show me how you make that pass.
We have the Boca Raton Bowl.
That's for elderly football players.
Yeah.
Brought to you by,
we have that's Thursday the 21st.
Brought to you by Boniva.
On Friday. Well, that's no. Well, I think there is an Insure Bowl. Anyway, Friday the 22nd, we have the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa.
Whoa,
the Sarsaparilla Bowl?
No, it's Gasparilla with a G. I don't even know what that is.
All right.
Is that some sort of indigestion, or is that?
Yeah.
Also,
it's like IBS, but it's spicier.
It's spicy.
It's like IBS with a margarita.
It's an IBS margarita.
Let's see. Where are we? What's? Oh, we have. Oh, this is a good one. Also in Orlando, we have the Pop Tarts Bowl.
Oh my God!
That's on Thursday, December 28th.
I want to go to the Pop Tart Bowl.
Friday the 29th, we have the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. And then we have the Orange Bowl in Miami Gardens. And then Monday, January 1st, in Tampa, we have the ReliaQuest Bowl, which I'm sure is, I imagine that's what Gasparilla is named after a company as well. Also on the 1st, we have in Orlando, the Citrus Bowl. And that's about it.
All right. 8 bowls in the state of Florida this year.
It's the Gasparilla Bowl is inspired by the legend of pirate Jose Gaspar, the mystic crew of Gasparilla. Tampa Bay was basically founded by pirates.
So let me throw another few names at you here.
Go for it.
Just as an aside, and we'll see if you can tell me where they're played. Either the city and or the state.
Right.
The Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Well, South Carolina.
Care to guess the city?
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach.
No, it's in Conway.
It's in Conway. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Conway, of course.
The New Mexico Bowl.
Albuquerque.
That's absolutely correct.
There you go.
The LA Bowl.
That would
Anaheim.
be played in Anaheim. That would be played in Los Alamitos.
It's played at the Magic Kingdom. No, it's in Inglewood.
Inglewood.
The hell that is. Yeah.
That's LA.
Yeah. This is a good one. The Bahamas Bowl.
It's played in
I'm gonna guess the Bahamas.
It's played in Nassau.
This is a bit of a trick question. Normally it's played in Nassau, but it's temporarily relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina this year.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Frisco Bowl.
That would be played in San Jose.
Or Frisco.
Frisco.
Is there a Frisco, Florida also, or just Texas?
I don't know.
I guess San Francisco you'd call Frisco, right?
You call Frisco, yeah.
No, not if you live in San Francisco. You know.
That's true.
The Birmingham Bowl.
Alabama.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
Or Birmingham, England,
Yeah.
The famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
No, that's in
Boise.
Boise.
Boise, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably figure out where the Hawaii Bowl is played. Honolulu, that's right. Military Bowl.
That's played in West Point.
That's Maryland.
Oh, it's played
Annapolis.
in Annapolis. Yeah.
Annapolis, yep. The Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Oh, it's played in North Carolina.
Hellman's, North Carolina.
It is in North Carolina. It's in Charlotte.
Charlotte, North Carolina. There you
go. Let's see. The Fenway Bowl. I think you can get that one.
Boston.
The Pinstripe Bowl.
Is that in New York?
Bronx.
That's in the Bronx. How about that? That's Thursday, December 28th. We mentioned the Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando. This is a real one of the Texas bowls. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
That's played in
City.
In Austin.
In Texas.
El Paso,
very good. Very
Played
good.
Terlingua? No.
The Cotton Bowl.
That's played in Dallas.
Dallas, that's correct.
Well, Arlington.
Let's see. Yeah, I think that's.
I think it's Dallas.
Yeah, that's.
If they play the Cotton Bowl in
it's in Dallas.
It's in Dallas.
Yeah, it's in Dallas.
So
I would think it would be like
Cotton Bowl Stadium,
Louisiana or somewhere like that.
Oh, that's the Cotton Bowl they put.
Music City Bowl.
Nashville,
very good. And the Arizona Bowl.
It's in
Phoenix,
Scottsdale,
Tucson.
No, we're both wrong.
Oh, wow.
And I was going to say Texas, you could say, has 8 because they do have the national championship game in Houston, but that's not a bowl.
A bowl, right? Exactly.
So they come in second with 7. But yeah, I think probably Pop-Tarts Bowl or Tony the Tiger Bowl.
Yeah.
My 2 favorite names.
Yeah. Until they have a Lucky Charms Bowl, then yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of a bowl of Lucky Charms, I think we might want to do that for a top 5 list.
Top 5 breakfast cereals. I think we should do it next time.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. There you go. All right.
Now, for the top 5 breakfast cereals, I'm gonna preface it by saying top 5 breakfast cereals from your childhood.
There you go. Definitely.
Now that could coincide with what your top 5 are today. Sure. But I think if we were to really pour a bowl of some of the stuff that we have really great memories of, we probably wouldn't. I think it might be a little too much, at least for me. But yeah.
I hear
you. Can we? Because sometimes some of them are still around. They just changed the name.
Oh yeah,
the name or the
right.
They don't have to still be around, but if they are and they're a different name, then whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I think.
Which ones have changed names?
Sugar Pops, I think.
Sugar Pops.
They changed to like Honey Pops or something like that.
Something like that. Sugar Smacks are just Smacks now. And
yeah, right. Yeah,
whatever you want to call them.
They have a bowl of snack.
Sugar in it. They took out.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So they took all the sugar out. Okay. All right, cool. Anything else you got?
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention this last week, and
again, that's right. That's right. We didn't want to talk about that.
Oh,
waiting with bated breath for a week to find out.
Hold on. I gotta open up the article. I closed it by accident.
How dare you?
Well, I think we talked a little bit about the USA women's soccer, and we've talked about them in terms of how they get paid compared to the men. We've talked about how they're so much better on the women's side than the men's side in international, winning the World Cup a bunch of times and the Olympics and all that. They're getting a new coach, a woman named Emma Hayes, because the Olympics are coming up in a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, next year, I guess.
Yeah.
And Emma Hayes
want to suck again.
Well, here's the thing. It's hard to not to question how dedicated this country is to not having them suck again, because they've hired Emma Hayes, longtime head coach for Chelsea Football Club, which is one of the more successful women's teams in Europe. She started here in the United States. She has a good resume. Looks like she's a great coach. Happy to have her. She doesn't start till May, which is like less than a month, I think, before the Olympics begin. So you're hiring a coach to get back to prominence. The Olympics are coming up, but she doesn't start until a month or even maybe a couple of weeks before the Olympics start because of, I guess, of her other commitments. And it just makes me wonder if this would ever happen on the men's side. You know, we're going to bring in some coach from the European League, a men's coach who's won a couple of, you know, cup titles or whatever, but we don't need him to start. We'll just keep our interim coach until then. The interim coach, by the way, who's, you know, just getting her feet wet after they fired the idiot, whatever his name was, after they sucked in the World Cup so much. Why don't you just make this woman, if you want the job, get your ass over here now and start coaching?
Right.
She made a commitment. She made a commitment. She's got her season. She's got to finish.
She can get out of it. You can leave a contract. You just
look.
Don't get paid.
Here's the thing is that yeah, she can, but you know, I kind of commend her for not. And so it also, I think the Chelsea season in the grand scheme of thing is probably a bigger deal than the
Olympics.
I don't know. I mean, it's just
look.
hard
I can agree.
Here's the thing. Number one, on a men's team, we would never get a big name coach from any European league because they wouldn't want to coach the U.S. men's team. And I actually think that I don't agree with you that the U.S. team, the women's team, doesn't get the same priority as the men's team. I think they actually probably get more of a priority than the men. I think the U.S. men's soccer team has been an afterthought in this country forever, and rightfully so because they suck.
Well, they get promoted.
I don't agree with that.
And then the tournament starts, and they suck, and then we kind of go.
I think if you watch, you know, I think the one U.S. team that I think gets way more, rightfully so, publicity, who people can name. If you ask people to name a U.S. women's soccer player, more people can name a U.S. women's soccer player than a U.S. men's soccer player.
I can see that.
Will they name her for playing soccer or for being controversial?
Who cares? Both. Is Alex Morgan controversial? She's incredibly popular.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the name that everybody knows more than any, who's retiring now, I think,
is Megan Rapinoe.
Megan Rapinoe.
Yeah.
And she's known as much for being
having an
communist
opinion
or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for having an opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. Like, just my point is, the women's team was a juggernaut. They were the most successful sports team that on a nationwide basis we've had, maybe ever.
Fair enough. I can see that. Yeah,
right?
I mean,
it
goes
but
back
I mean,
before Meg. It goes back to Mia Hamm and
Mia Hamm, Hope Solo. I mean, there's so many more.
Brandy Chastain,
Alex Morgan. I mean, I can't name 3 men's soccer players, and Carly Lloyd. I'm trying to think. Rose Lavelle.
Again, I think you're reinforcing my point. Is that okay? We've had this team, which is great and successful and winning all the time, and now they've sort of fallen down somewhat. So we ought to be propping them back up. So why aren't we doing that? If the Emma Hayes needs to finish in Chelsea, there must be someone else we could hire to help us. We're going to the Olympics. Do we really think she's good enough to come in here and in a month whip this team into shape?
Well, if it's May, she's got almost 3 months at that point, you know. So yeah. I mean, you know, if they're just working out and doing drills and doing you know, basics and I
mean, I think they felt that she was the best.
The Olympics are in August, so I mean, May, June, July.
So you know,
have like 3 months.
I don't have a problem with that. And in the meantime, the interim coach is definitely.
I see what you're saying, though. I mean, you know, you would want him to start as soon as possible and have as much time.
It's like the women's team has fallen down.
But
they fired the idiot that they never should have hired, and we're going to bring in a new coach, but it's going to happen 5 months from now.
Unless they just weighed the pros and cons and said, okay, we can bring in this person to this person now, or we can have her in May. 3 months should be enough for her to do it. I kind of want her. Maybe that's what they did. Right or wrong, I'm saying that might have been their thought process.
I don't know, man. I mean, how many matches can you play in 3 months?
Well, they obviously felt she was the best person for the job, and they're paying her a record amount of money to do it.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, she's a great coach. Yeah. That's not the issue here.
I don't have a problem with her not leaving her team high and dry.
No, I understand that too. I just wonder if this is the best decision for the team.
Here's the other part.
We'll find out.
Maybe you're gonna say, all right, well, if it's not enough time for her to get things in shape, then okay, we'll sort of sacrifice the Olympics. But then she'll be here, and then by the time the next World Cup comes around and all that stuff, she'll be the coach, and everything will be great, and we'll be dominant again.
You have to remember another thing. A lot of the women on this team are also playing in Europe and are on similar schedules.
Yeah.
Not everybody is available to practice full time right now. So I think it's fine. And the fact that she's probably come in contact with a lot of these players in the European League, I think is even better. So I don't have a problem with it. I really don't.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say is, look, the U.S. women's soccer team has had a lot of success. We've also had a lot of generational talent that we might not have again. Now, I'm not saying, Alex Morgan is 35 years old. We've got a lot of, Megan Rapinoe and I think Julie Ertz have retired. But there was a long run of generational talent that the U.S. team was able to cultivate on their squad. And do the people coming up, are they able to match that? I don't know. And if they fall short, I don't necessarily hold that against them, because I don't think that just because they've had a good history of winning that it should be expected that they continue, because the rest of the world is obviously going to change and catch up and maybe surpass them a little bit. And as far as their drop, yeah, they didn't. I mean, they weren't horrible. They just didn't win the World Cup. And
no, they didn't. They didn't even make the final rounds.
Okay, but
they were ousted. I would
argue that they still did better than any men's teams ever done.
Right, but I would
in their worst season they had what would have been celebrated as a future to build upon for the U.S. men's.
No, it would be a failure, men or women. Not getting out of the not making the first cut is the failure all around. And I would argue that, yes, you're right. They do have more players playing internationally, as our men's team does as well. But that's a sign that those players are better. So we should be good. We should be good.
I also think
it's not just
part of the downfall. Part of the downfall of the U.S. team was, you're right, a lack of strong leadership. And I think some of the players, some of the better known players, hung around too long. There was not a clear passing of the guard. So we'll see. But is Rose Lavelle as good as the women who have preceded her? I don't know.
Since 91, the U.S. women's national team for World Cup results, 91, they won. They were champions. 95, they were in third place. They lost to Norway in the semifinals. 99, they were the champions. 2003, they were in third place. 2007, they were in third place. 2011, they were in second place. 2015, they were the champions. 2019, they were the champions. 2023, they made it to the round of 16.
They didn't get there. They made it through the first qualifying round.
Right.
That's a pretty significant drop. You're in the semifinals, or at least every
you were
single time.
You were in the semifinals, and you out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you were 4 times you were the champion.
4-time champion. Yeah.
1 second place, 3 third.
You made it right. You made it to the semifinals, or you were the champion.
Right.
or you lost the championship.
Or you lost.
And now all of a sudden you don't make it out of the round of 16. That's
Right.
a big drop. That's a big drop.
You know, the other thing that I don't think people realize, and maybe this is telling you just how much, I mean, they've had a lot of changes in coaches over the years.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I don't know. I mean, it seems like they have a, I'm not saying they had a ton of changes, but they had a decent amount of changes at the coaching position. How much does that matter? I don't know. I can't pretend to tell you. I will say this. I think that the expectations for them to be the world's best is something that I think for a long time they earned. I'm not sure it's there anymore. And I'm not now. Do I think they should have made it past the round of 16? Yes. They didn't play very well. But I also feel like this current crop of younger players have big shoes to fill. And unfortunately, a really good team is starting to age and retire, or already has retired. So,
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
They're gonna have a really good coach. So that's good. I don't know. I just maybe 3 months is plenty of time to whip them in shape. I'm a little concerned it's not.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, we will.
So, all right, cool. All right. Anything else? I think we're good.
That's
right?
all I got.
Harry,
no.
You good? No. All right. So on that note, we will.
Oh, you guys want the Pro Pickleball Tour update? Maybe next week.
We'll do it next week. Anyway, actually, we'll do that in a section next week too. So anyway, all right. On that note, we'll wrap the show for today. I want to thank everyone for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, and Twitch every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Rephonic. Pretty much anywhere you can find audio podcasts, you will find the Get On With It Sports Podcast. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you soon, folks. We'll talk to you next week. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.